Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dave, and this is Alaskan Homesteading. We are continuing on the chicken coop build today. It is a beautiful, sort of partly cloudy day here, about 67 Fahrenheit, super nice weather. The next step here is to lay down a vapor barrier on the surface of the deck here. So we've been building this floor foundation for a couple days here now. And we got our foam, rigid foam installed. That's glued in between these joists. And now we have our 6mm plastic sheeting, acoustic sealant, and a big old caulk gun. And the goal here is to lay that sealant along every joist and then lay out this visqueen over top of it, get that sealed in place, and then we can install the subfloor on top. So what's the purpose of the vapor barrier? Well, it is to help create a separation between the interior and exterior of the building, and it will keep the moisture on the inside of the building rather than allowing it to kind of migrate down into the deck structure below. Well, we've got our materials and everything ready to go, and the basic process we're going to use, we'll just start at one end, start laying strips of that acoustic sealant along the joists, and work our way down to the end, and then we'll pick up this sheet of 6mm plastic and lay it down from one end to the other, make sure it's good and seated in that sealant, and then that'll be that. Now, I've never worked with this acoustic sealant before, but this is what they say you're supposed to use to seal your vapor barriers. It kind of never really cures all the way. It stays kind of gooey, so that basically it can maintain a seal over a really long time. Sealants that can dry out will crack eventually, and then they won't really be sealed anymore. So, I don't know. I hear this stuff's really gnarly to work with, so we'll just see how this goes. My theory here is basically I'm going to do the end, and then just like reach as far as I can in on each joist from one side, and then the other, do the other end, then the two long pieces, and then that should pretty much do it. I don't know how much of this I'm going to use, but I think it, based on how much coverage it says it would get per tube, I think I need like 4 tubes of it. We'll just see. Stuff gooey, and this stuff never really cures. It stays ooey gooey. Oh, sure.
It's really gonna wobble.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
I've got to take another L here. I pulled the layout wrong for the joists and didn't account for essentially the starting edge and then the 16 on center after that. I've got to now, to correct this, is kind of a hack. I'm gonna have to cut 3/4 of an inch, rip 3/4 of an inch off of the edge of one of these sheets to create an offset so that the edges of each sheet will be supported properly by the joists. Super annoying, but again, that's what happens with inexperience in building. Taking the L, but coming up with a hack to fix it and work around it. It is a chicken coop, not a luxury home. So, well, it'll be a luxury home for the chickens anyway. But yeah, we'll go ahead and move forward. Straight edge. Get a nice clean 3/4 inch cut off this edge. And go from there.
That end moved.
Yeah. This will take a couple of little adjustments. Okay. Hate making mistakes like that when I should know better.
Derek is like, ham.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about this. Though in fairness, it was more in relation to drywall.
But it's the same.
It's
It's
the same
exactly the
principle.
same principle because it's all sheet goods and 16 on center frame.
Yep.
Nice and straight, flush on the front. And this back edge. Yep. Okay, well, the the hack job fix is finished. We've got the OSB laid down, and you can see what they ended up having to do is just have this 3/4 inch strip ripped off the one end and transferred over to here to kind of give that 3/4 offset that I missed when I pulled the tape for the initial 16 on center layout. But this will work. It's all screwed down. I have to come back and do the screws in the field next. I've got to snap some chalk lines for that, but right now what I'm going to do is cut off the excess vapor barrier and put that in the garbage, get that goo out of here, and then take a break. It is way too hot out here. All right, well, I'm back from a little break. It is super hot out here. It's 75 degrees, which, boy, to folks down in the lower 48, I'm sure it doesn't sound hot. And in the shade, it's wonderful. But this sun, it's at a pretty low angle, and it just bakes your whole body. But enough about that. The little final step I have to do here is snap some chalk lines on the joists and run the screws in the field of the floor, the subfloor. The edges are done, but now just need to do the last little bit. I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Getting the vapor barrier and subfloor installed was the goal, and that is done. And so now we've got it all screwed down 6 inches or so along the edges, and then 12 inches or so in the field. That's more than enough. And we've got our 8x16 platform. So this little beam over here, you may be wondering about for a while now. This is where the porch is going to go, but I'm going to build that separately. I'm just going to build it as a porch and attach it with a ledger board across there, and then the joists will come out across this support beam. And again, here's that hack I had to do to fix the layout screw up. Just ripped off 3/4 of an inch from that first sheet, and that gave us the correct offset to be able to lay these down where they'd be. The edges would be centered on the joists. Really annoying error to make. I've had a couple of classes where they kind of showed us framing, but I just didn't start the sequence correctly. So rookie mistake, but my partner was able to come up with a really good fix on the fly for that, so I'm really happy about that. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully you can tune in with us for the rest of the build here, and hopefully I can make a few less mistakes along the way. Now that I've made my first framing mistake on the floor, I think I'll have that one emblazoned in my memory as I start building the walls up next. And that's really the next step here. We've got to build the walls and then put a roof on it. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Go ahead and follow the playlist if you want to see the rest of this build. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And we'll see you next time.